Hi there, I'm Professor Juris, and I wanted to make you a quick video on how to use the Viewfinder app in your camera, on your phone. So what I did here is I actually downloaded the app to my iPad, and I'm recording this with my phone. So you can actually just download this app on your phone, and then you can use it with your pinhole photography. It's very helpful with pinhole photography, and it's actually helpful with a lot of photography because it actually is a light meter too. Giving you an exposure for whatever you're shooting. So one of the first things I'm going to do is when you're looking through this, you have to remember that what you would do is actually hold this up on top of your pinhole camera and get an idea of what you're actually seeing. Now, it's not going to be completely accurate because of parallax, and what I mean by parallax is that the lens that your camera has is not going to be in the same exact place as the lens of the pinhole camera, so you have to kind of adjust for that. And remembering that the phone is going to be on top of the pinhole camera, so you're kind of seeing up a couple inches. In a landscape scene where you're photographing a lot, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. Or something where you're super close, it'll make a little bit of difference, but you can also take the phone then and hold it to the side of the camera to kind of see where your horizon is. In other words, where the real top of the photo is going to be. And then adjust your camera accordingly if you want to do that. But my basic purpose of this video is just to show you how to actually use this app. So, and then you can go out and try it. But this app is fairly accurate as far as your exposure goes and stuff, and it'll make your pinhole photography very simple. So the first thing you want to do once you download the app is you'll need to set up what kind of camera that you're using, and you'll be using and your pinhole is a 4x5. So right down here on the bottom left hand side, you see it says 4x5 where my finger's at. Let me slide this up just a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So what I'm going to do is click on the 4x5, and when I click on that, you see this little menu comes up here in the center, and what you basically do is you scroll through the size or the format of the camera that you're using. So you have to click this button again. But I'm going to go back to 4x5 because that's where we want to shoot at. So I click at the 4x5, and it shows me the format of the 4x5. And this is with a 120 millimeter lens. So you need to check the millimeter of the pinhole camera that you're using, because just like a lens on a 35 millimeter camera where you have a 50 millimeter normal lens or a 28 millimeter wide angle, you can have different lenses with the pinhole camera, or different focal lengths with the pinhole camera. And the focal length is actually defined by the measuring of where the pinhole actually is in the camera to where the film plane is. So by measuring that, you come up with the different formats or different focal lengths in the camera. So the camera that I'm using is a wide angle, so I'm going to click this right here, the 120 millimeter, because it's a 75 millimeter lens. So there's the 75 right up there. And I actually, when I downloaded this app, I had to go in and add 75 millimeters. So when you click on that, there may only be a few lenses in there, and there's a plus sign, and you click on that and you can type in whatever millimeter you're using. Like say you're using a 65 millimeter lens, you can actually type that in, and that would give you the focal length for that camera. So that's with my 75 millimeter lens, again, which is a wide angle, so I'm seeing a lot more. If I click this and go back to like a 120, you could see. And then if I click it even to more, to like a longer lens, 150, there's what 150 millimeters lens would be of me. So 150 being actually being the normal focal length on a 4x5 camera, but you can see how much tighter it is. So clicking on this again, I'm going to go back to 75 because that's where my camera is. So then what I'm seeing here now is this automatically reads the exposure for this. So, and on the very right hand side, we can kind of set the film speed that we're using. So I'm going to set this to 320, which is actually the speed of Tri-X film 4x5. So setting that to 320 at f8. And we have to change the f-stop too, because this is what I would get at f8 if I was using like a 4x5 camera, not a pinhole camera. But I need to make sure that I set the f-stop for the f-stop of the pinhole, which is the size of the opening. And on the cameras that we're using, at least the one that I'm using, is F256. Now, if you're not sure, it should come on the instructions in your box, on your box, and tell you the exact size of the pinhole, because pinholes vary. And, you know, buying from different manufacturers and stuff, you may get a different size pinhole, or if you sometime decide to make your own pinhole camera, then that would be a little bit different. So you'd have to find out what the f-stop is on your camera. So I'm going to click on this right now, and there's that fade. So I'm just going to scroll here and go all the way down to F256, if I can find it here. Let's see, there it is right there. I missed it. Let's see, right here. And it's the next one. There's F256. So what that's now telling me, and again, this is just on my dining room table, and the only light I have is light coming in the window. So this would be an example of a really long exposure. So with ISO or ASA 320 film, which would be Tri-X, and my f-stop of the pinhole camera, which is 256, my exposure would be 500 seconds. So what you could do is get your calculator and divide 60 seconds into the 500 seconds, and that would tell you how many minutes the exposure would be on this. So again, when using your pinhole camera, you're just gonna put your film holder in, secure it, pull the front dark slide out, not the back dark slide. So the dark slide that's facing the pinhole lens, you would pull that out, and then open up your shutter. That's that little flip thing on the front of the pinhole. And once you open that up, you're gonna count the time, or use a timer to count the time, and then close the little shutter that you're using on the front of the camera. And that would give you the exposure on there. Then you'll put the dark slide back into the film holder with the black side out. You start it out, when you load them, you load it with the white side out, and then when you take the picture, you put the black side out so you know which side of the film holder has been exposed. Then you can remove it and flip it around and shoot the other side if you want to do a second shot of it. And you can bracket on some of these, especially if you're having something moving or something. You could, you know, different times, but that'll kind of give you the exposure to start with, to see what you're getting. So it's a great way to start using this Viewfinder app. Anyway, I hope that helps. If it helps, please give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe channel, and we'll be making more videos here shortly. Thank you.